Yo, what's going on, everybody? Chadley here, and we are here with our first ever full release Outriders video. So for this video, I just wanted to make a pyro leveling guide for you, because as you can see, I have been able to make it up to level 30. I was able to grind through the story, and I actually even started some expeditions. I'm up to challenge tier 8 right now, but I hit level 30 around challenge tier 4 or 5. So I thought this was a great opportunity to share some things that I have learned along the way while playing Pyro to hopefully make your guys' first playthrough as Pyro a lot easier. Now, just a quick note before we continue this video, I will be streaming as this video goes live. So if you're watching this right now, make sure you guys head over to Twitch. It'll be a link in the description. Make sure you click that. Moxie and I will be running some expeditions, so you don't have any story spoilers to worry about, and then you guys can see some of the end game gameplay. So if you want to check that out, definitely come by and hang out. Also, since this is our first full release Outriders video, if you guys do enjoy the video, find it helpful, and want to see more Outriders content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. We're going to have so much Outriders content. I've been having a blast with this game so far on my first day. Now that we got all that out of the way, a quick little overview of what this video is going to be. I'm going to break down what skills I have found to be the best so far for Pyro, at least without any sort of like legendary sets and things like that. So I'm going to show you guys which ones of those I use and which ones I favor. And then also we're going to go down and look at some weapon types that you guys should look for. Also some of the mods for the guns that have helped me as well. And then also we're going to be looking at some of our armor mods as well that will pair with our skills, because they do make a very, very big difference. So let's just go ahead and jump right into our first section, our skills. Now, obviously we have 8 skills to pick from. And if you guys are continuing off from level 7 like you were in the demo, you're obviously going to have Heat Wave, Feed the Flames, Thermal Bomb, and Overheat. Now, I never really use Feed the Flames. If you guys like it, you can use it, but I have found Heat Wave to be an absolute must, as it is going to pair with the Burnout mod here. So damage enemies take 25% more damage for 8 seconds, and this stacks. So if you hit them with multiple Heat Waves, that's going to stack up. So I have 3 Heat Waves on me, so 75% more damage. That is a ton. It made boss killing super easy, and then also playing in a group, it helps all of us just deal insane damage to those single targets. Also, the cooldown is pretty low on it, so you can do that fairly often as well. Now, in the demo, I was a huge fan of Thermal Bomb. You guys are still welcome to use it, but I found myself going away from it. A lot of the areas that we end up later in the game are quite big, and the enemies are very spread out, so it's actually hard to kind of nuke all of the enemies with just one Thermal Bomb. So it is a little bit tougher to use, and obviously with just single bosses, this isn't going to work very well because you won't be able to really blow them up. And then Overheat is actually really, really good, especially once you guys get to level 9 and unlock Volcanic Rounds. Volcanic Rounds have been a lifesaver for Pyro. Every enemy you shoot while these are active will mark them. Also, they're going to be burning, and you're going to bypass their physical resistance because this is anomaly damage. So this skill has been an absolute lifesaver, and if you combine that with Overheat, that will work very well, at least until you can unlock Ash Blast. Ash Blast is by far the best skill I have used so far for the Pyro. The mods that you can get with this are amazing. Now, by itself, it's not really that crazy, but once you get the mods, this thing is an absolute monster. And then Phaser Beam and Eruption, I was really, really excited about these, but right now, when I don't have any sort of legendary armor sets and not really perfect gear, it was actually kind of hard to make these do as much damage as I would like. They don't do little damage, but they don't do quite as much as just fully loading like Heat Wave, Ash Blast, and Volcanic Rounds and just laying into somebody with like an automatic shotgun. It just does not even come close to that damage output. So I have been staying away from these right now. Now, once I get those legendary sets and more perfect gear, I will definitely be giving these another go. But at least for leveling up, I would kind of avoid these, in my opinion. Obviously, if you want to use them and have fun, go for it. But if you want the best time possible, I would stay away from these for the time being. Now, I'm actually wanting to talk about the armor mods before we move over to the weapon mods, because we just talked about skills. Now, there are a couple key mods that you guys are going to want. Now, obviously, I have a lot of tier 2 mods that you guys won't really have access to until a little bit later in the story. but there are quite a few tier 1 mods that you guys are really going to be using pretty much all the time. Now, the first ones that you're going to be using a ton are the extra activations of heat wave. So there are two different ones. There's Ride the Wave and then also Tidal Wave. Now, they can't stack if they're the same one, but if you use Tidal Wave and Ride the Wave, you can have 3 total heat waves, which is awesome for stacking that 25% extra damage on the enemies with burnout. Those 3 I have been using pretty much my entire playthrough. I've always made sure those are on, and it's definitely made my life really, really easy. I've taken them off to just test it, and I found myself immediately going back to it. So I definitely recommend those at all times. Then once you guys hit level 9 and you get volcanic rounds, another mod that I definitely recommend that you guys use is the extra mag. This just helps a ton. And then if you guys pair it with like an LMG, which has 100 rounds, if not more, depending on what variant you have, that's going to last a very long time. It's going to help you guys heal and also deal a lot of damage. So I definitely recommend the 2 mags. Overall, it's going to help your survivability and damage just so much. So some other mods that you guys can use, for example, if you guys are doing overheat, there is one where you get extra weapon damage on enemies affected by the skill. So 3rd degree right here. This is actually really nice if you guys are running overheat. So definitely keep an eye out for that mod. Now, if you guys also want to run thermal bomb, the main 2 that I recommend would be the increased radius and then also the extra activation. So fire frenzy and big boom. Both of those are fantastic. The other ones I don't really use too much. Now, the main one for Ash Blast that I really recommend in the tier 1 slot would be increase the skill range by 66%. The other 3 that are available in tier 1, I don't really like too much. They don't help that much. And then, but this, when you guys activate Ash Blast, you will pretty much freeze the entire map. And then later on in your skill tree, you will also be applying vulnerable to them as well, which it helps so much. Definitely recommend Ash increase range here. So now for the tier 1 mods for volcanic rounds, besides the extra mag one, the main one that I recommend would be a powerful 50% weapon damage bonus after the skill ends, especially if you guys do not have the 2 mags. This is going to help you guys make up some of that damage once the skill ends, because you're going to be missing out on quite a bit because most of the enemies are physically resistant, which ties us into decreases the target's armor by 30% for 10 seconds. You're already bypassing their physical resistance, so I don't really understand this mod too much, so I would stay away from that for now. And then you can afflict weakness if you would like. I haven't really found a need for that yet. And then increase your anomaly power by 25%. This isn't bad. It's not going to increase the actual impact damage of volcanic rounds. It's just going to increase the burn. And obviously, if you guys are running any sort of skills with volcanic rounds, it will help those out as well. So if you're running a hybrid build, this will definitely help you out. I did just want to mention a couple tier 2 mods to keep your eyes out for. So bullet kindling is amazing. Obviously, deal 20% more damage against enemies afflicted by burn. When you're using volcanic rounds, everybody is going to be afflicted by burn all the time, so that's just a free 20% more damage. Definitely a must once you guys get that. I have found adrenaline to be very good as well, because when your health drops below 30%, all of your cooldowns are reduced by 50%, which does add up. You guys are going to be taking quite a bit of damage, but you're going to be healing and living, so it's really not a big deal. It's just a free cooldown reduction, so this skill is very good as well. So super quick, I just want to take a look at our skill tree. Now, I'm definitely focusing more on volcanic rounds and then my guns, so I'm obviously going to be running top tree stuff. So some key points to be looking out here. If you guys are obviously using certain types of weapons, you can grab the sniper or assault rifle masters. Those are going to help you out. And then the main skills that you guys are really going to want is Ashes to Ashes. So this is one reason Ash gets so crazy, is every enemy that is afflicted, you're going to inflict vulnerable on them. So that's free damage. So that's really nice. And you can line up free headshots because they're not moving. So then you can also pair that with Trial of the Ashes towards the end here. So enemies afflicted by Ash receive 30% more damage, and there's also an earlier one for 10%. And then all of that can be combined with Incinerate here, so the moment burn ends, you inflict Ash on the enemy. So this is just really good for crowd control, and then obviously once you get Ashes to Ashes, that's really good for extra damage as well. Now finally, let's go ahead and take a look at our weapons. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but our main mobbing weapon that I definitely recommend you guys use if you're using volcanic rounds is an LMG. You're gonna get, if you have the 2 mags, 200, if not more, depending on what variant you have, rounds of this, which is amazing. It's really going to help you guys stay alive, and you're going to be putting out so much damage. So I really do recommend a high magazine weapon. It does not have to be an LMG. Double guns have quite a bit of ammo in them as well, so you can use either of those if you would like. And then for like a boss killing weapon, I have found the automatic shotguns. I use the narrow variants to just absolutely destroy. Also, some bolt action snipers have done very well for me as well. I've hit well over 100k damage when using the heat wave and Ash inflicts vulnerable, all that good stuff. I've hit well over 100k. So just pick something that hits really hard in a short amount of time, and you guys will be good there. And then for sidearms, I really didn't use a sidearm much at all. If you guys are going to be using one, I would maybe use it for vulnerability bullets if you don't have the Ash inflicts vulnerable yet. Or you guys can also use it as a healing weapon. If you guys have like Essence Thief or anything like that, I would use on your sidearm. Now, I know you guys have seen this mission a million times, but I don't want to give away any sort of spoilers because this video is going out super early. But I did just want to show some gameplay to show exactly what the pyro is going to be looking like later on and what you can expect as you're leveling up here. So I'm on World Tier 10, which is a new world tier for me, and this is actually like pretty far along. But otherwise, the main thing you got to do is just focus on your hard-hitting enemies first. So I'm going to be killing our captain here. Then I will be making sure to kill our marksman because they do so much damage. Then otherwise, all you guys need to be doing is positioning correctly. Make sure you are taking advantage of choke points within the map. Do not be afraid to just kind of hang back and let the enemies come to you. There's a lot of melee enemies in the game who have no problem running to you. So I definitely recommend just learning where those spots are, and you guys will have a much easier time taking out the huge hordes. So like I said when I was describing Thermal Bomb, the areas are quite big and there are a lot of enemies. Like the enemy density is pretty crazy, but sometimes they do get spread out. So make sure you learn your positioning. I cannot stress that enough with Pyro. Yeah, guys, hopefully this Pyro leveling guide does make your life easier or helps you learn a little bit more about this character as you start your journey through Outriders. I plan to be making these for every single character. I don't know when I'm going to be getting to the other ones because I definitely want to be focusing on endgame stuff right now. But I will be getting to it, so definitely stay tuned for those. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Like I said at the start of the video, I will be streaming as this video goes live, doing some expeditions. So if you guys want to check out the endgame content, make sure you come over to Twitch. But hopefully you guys enjoy Outriders as much as I have so far, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.